Paul George should be a fuck no. Bradley Beal should be a hell no. Kawhi Leonard don't even pick up the phone. I swear to God. Well, probably one of the biggest things that we found out is that LeBron and the Lakers are not on the same page with one another. Wowzers. Who would have thunk this? Now, on Twitter the other day, I made a couple tweets out there. People were upset, but I think a lot of people misrepresented what I was saying as they normally do. So as I did yesterday, I'm going to do again. I'm going to clarify some of the things I said because I think a lot of people just don't comprehend what exactly I meant by some of the statements I made, in particular about LeBron and his decision to opt in effectively ruled out a lot of things that we could do financially from an off-season standpoint. Everything that's going on with the Lakers proves that LeBron had no idea about the Luka trade, so I think that I kind of you'll understand why I said that earlier. And then here it is. I don't think people realize how much LeBron opting in limits the Lakers. Now, people took this as an offense to what I was saying. People not realizing when LeBron opted in, that genuinely limited what the Lakers could do. And people think immediately that means that I was just LeBron, but it's just a reality. It's just a reality. And it also speaks volumes to where they're at right now in terms of LeBron and the Lakers. And I'm also going to say I don't even really blame LeBron because I also think he's in a situation to where he doesn't have that many options either. So on all fronts, it makes a lot of sense to Luka, that trade, LeBron not understanding it, LeBron having to opt in because he doesn't feel secure about what's going on. And why I say that, let me just break it down as briefly as possible. Again, normally what LeBron does, and he's been on my team longer than any other team he's played for or any other stretch he's played for any other point in his career. I don't know if y'all noticed. LeBron has been a Laker at this point just as long as he has been on the Cavaliers through that first stretch. Crazy. And in the midst of doing so, he's done a lot of contract negotiations. So he's managed these type of off seasons more times with the Lakers than anyone else. And what LeBron normally does is a 2-1, meaning he'll sign a 2-year deal and that last year will be a player option. This allows him to keep the flexibility in his nature, but also secures that more than likely he's going to play for, at bare minimum, another year. He might do a 3-1 or whatever, but he normally puts himself in a situation to sign an extension that also gives him the flexibility at the end of that extension. Now, what exactly does that mean? Two things. A, the fact that he didn't do it again this year does kind of lead me to the belief that he's probably looking at retirement, or at least genuinely thinking about that. I do believe that. But also, it means that he just, instead of coming off of the books and allowing his $40 to $50 million to come off the books that then gives the team the flexibility, it just stayed on the books. Because that's what LeBron normally do. He would come off the books, opt out, renegotiate, give the team the cap flexibility. The team then signs whoever else they need to sign with that cap space. And then once they've maxed out, they'll re-sign LeBron back on top of all the cap because they have his bird rights. So that's how he's able to pull that off. Now, why is all of this is important that he doesn't do it this time? It highlights two things for us. A, LeBron, without a doubt, did not know that they were going to trade Luka. Without a doubt. There is absolutely, positively no way that you would ever opt in this way while also actively searching for him to find another team to get traded to, because there's been several reports claiming that the Lakers have indeed looked to trade LeBron. There's little to no interest for LeBron James around the NBA if he becomes available. The only reason why you would do that is because you are looking to trade him. You've already entertained it. Why would they entertain it? Because, again, they're out of options. Now, why do I keep saying that? If you are LeBron and you're in this situation, what else can you do? You have $50-some million you're owed this season, and because you negotiated correctly, you gave yourself a no-trade clause that the Lakers abided by so you control where you want to go. The Lakers have already shown you their hands that they're willing to trade niggas to rebuild and restart because they traded AD for Luka. And let it be known, nigga, you would have without a doubt been traded. If they are willing to trade AD to go get Luka, you without a doubt would have been traded if you did not have that no trade clause. Why do I say that? Because here we are now and LeBron is opting in. If LeBron, let's go through all the options. If LeBron were to try to do the opt-out situation and then renegotiate and opt back in for a 2-1, then he's going to get less money. Because if you're the Lakers, well, why would I pay you $50-some million? I know for a fact there's nobody in the NBA that is willing to give you $50+ million because there's no one in the NBA that was prepared to sign you for just $50 million. Now, some of you might say, well, they of course there are teams out there that would sign LeBron to a 2-year, $100 million deal to give him $50 million. Okay, fine. Find them. Go. If I'm the Lakers, I'm telling LeBron, go find them for me because I'm going to keep it a being with you right now. My nigga, we don't want you on the team right now anyway. Not because you're not great, but because how much money you're making and Luka's making, we cannot fill out the rest of the roster. We just cannot. And if you opt in like you just did, we are now hard cap. We cannot make any more moves or any significant ones. So if you genuinely believe that you can find someone that can go out there and get you $50 million a year, go find them. We'll do a sign and trade today. We'll trade you today. Some of you all say, oh, well, what about the Cavaliers? That's fine. If you're the Lakers and you're looking to restructure anyway, you're looking for depth. You're looking for flexibility around your roster as well as your payroll. So, yeah, I'll trade Jared Allen. What was the deals that we got done yesterday? It wasn't going to be Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is not going to get traded. It was going to be, I can't remember who were the players, chat. It was Jared Allen, DeAndre Hunter, and someone else. Because Jared Allen, DeAndre Hunter make $43 million. So get me Jared Allen, DeAndre Hunter. We'll get someone else, Sam, whoever we need to get to make this deal done. And the Lakers would have done that because the Lakers need to fill out their roster. Give me a 3-and-D wing and DeAndre Hunter, who's under the age of 30, a lob rolling big, and Jared Allen, who's also under 30, and they're under much more manageable contracts than LeBron. And then after that, if we need to then try to get someone else, we will. But we know for a fact right now, if you stay on this team, we are capped on what we can or cannot do. We're capped. We're stuck. There's not really much that we can do. It's not. It's just not. So then that pivots us to the last part, which is LeBron taking a pay cut. Even if LeBron, and I'm not in the class of telling LeBron to take a pay cut because it doesn't really do much for us anyway. Even if LeBron took a pay cut with the amount of money that is still owed between him and Luka, he's not going to take a significant enough pay cut to play back on his team just for us to fill out Miles Turner. I guess it's just not. It's just no way. So it'd be best utilized if LeBron still wants this money, so for us to do a sign and trade or for us to just trade him. LeBron knows this. So instead of him looking for a pay cut or renegotiating a new deal to where he will lose leverage because he would no longer make $50 million this year, he just opted back in and also, and more importantly, kept his no trade clause. Because if he opted out, the Lakers easily could have said, we're only going to pay you $40 million and we're not going to give you a no trade clause. And so if that is the case, then, like, at that point, what is LeBron supposed to do? Genuinely speaking, what is LeBron supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? So, that's why LeBron opted in. And it further points to the fact that if LeBron genuinely knew that they were going to trade Luka, then he would have been better equipped for where we are right now. But it's very evident that the Lakers are willing to move on in a different direction And LeBron is still trying to maximize his earning power while also still trying to be on a competitive team. The problem, however, at 50-some million dollars that LeBron is making, that's practically impossible. There just isn't. There's like, you could probably count on one hand how many teams have the capability of trading for LeBron or signing for him if he decided to opt out for how much he's making, the $52 million that he's making next year. There just wasn't that many teams that had the capability of doing that. So that's how we got here. That's how we got here. LeBron ran out of options. He's at a dead end. And both the Lakers and LeBron are at a stalemate on what they can or cannot do. The Lakers are looking to save cap for not the 2026, but the 2027 free agency period to potentially sign a max level player. Though DFS was a popular locker room figure and helped the Lakers to a 14-6 record in the 20 games he started in the regular season, LA exercised discipline in its negotiation to preserve cap space for 2027 when the team expects to have cap space to sign a max salary free agent. Now, I'm going to explain to y'all a couple of reasons why this is fucking dumb. First, let's look to see who are the free agents. 39-year-old Steph Curry. Oh, wow. 34-year-old Anthony Davis. Oh, wow. 38-year-old Jimmy Butler. Oh, wow. 32-year-old Nikola Jokic. Oh, wow. 31-year-old Karl-Anthony Towns. Oh, wow. 37-year-old Paul George. Oh, wow. 34-year-old Bradley Beal. Oh, wow. 31-year-old Donovan Mitchell. Oh, wow. 36-year-old Kawhi Leonard. Oh, wow. 32-year-old Zach LaVine. Oh, wow. Trae Young. Oh, wow. 38-year-old James Harden. Oh, wow. 30-year-old Brandon Ingram. Oh, wow. Kyrie Irving at 35. Rudy Gobert at 35. Half of those niggas will not be looking for another contract, at least not a serious one. Most of those niggas will be looking to recoup their 401k. Those niggas will be signing retirement papers, not new deals. Most of those niggas will be looking for contracts, maximizing their earnings because they tricked off a bunch of money throughout their career. So they're looking for that one more sucker. Paul George needs one more sucker to double back on how much money he threw at strippers that one summer. He needs one more sucker. My nigga, looking at this list, let's tap the fuck in. This nigga Jimmy Butler has been bamboozling niggas for years now. The Warriors, his most recent sucker, Rob Pelinka. I know for a fact you're not telling me that you're opening up cap space for Jimmy Butler. I know you're not. Before we get here, let's start eliminating names. Curry is a no. Let's go ahead and eliminate that. Jimmy Butler, I hope I don't have to say this, he's also a no. Jokic, in your wildest dreams, maybe you thought, but he's also a no now because the Nuggets now know how to build a team. So he's a no. Paul George should be a fuck no. Bradley Beal should be a hell no. Kawhi Leonard, don't even pick up the phone. I swear to God, in 2 more years, if I hear Kawhi Leonard rumors say this nigga's going to the Lakers, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my marbles. Trae Young doesn't make any sense at all. James, there's some names I don't even need to talk about. I was about to say James Harden. What the f*** are we even discussing? Brandon Ingram, what the f*** are we talking about? Kyrie Irving, no. Rudy Gobert, no. Especially when these niggas are 35 years old. Hell no. So, realistically speaking, Rob Pelinka, there are 3 names on this list that actually make some sense. Karl-Anthony Towns, before I get to the next 2 names, that's a hell no as well. if I hear if I hear that you're calling for Karl Anthony Towns and clearing space to give that nigga a max, Anthony Davis will be the next name. Highly doubt that nigga is coming back. So that effectively means what you are doing is trying to convince us as Laker fans that you're going for Giannis. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Let's skip all the bullshit. You are trying to go for Giannis. That's what you're trying to do. Be fucking for real. Be serious, my nigga. Giannis, that's your play? And in between now and then, you're telling me you're unwilling to sign anybody to anything? You can't just hand out a 2-year deal? A 3-year deal? You don't think any of this shit is flexible? You can just trade niggas for expiring contracts when the year come to go after Giannis. Allowing someone to walk because they want a 3rd or 4th year, when that last year, you can just trade that nigga to go get a flexible contract. You can just move off of the contracts. Niggas do it all the time. The Celtics just did it with Porzingis. They just did it. They did it with Drew Holiday. Nigga, you can do that all the time. But here's a second reason why. Nigga, this is not 1984. This isn't 1996. This isn't 2009. This isn't 2020. This is a new CBA. And if you or really any general manager believes that you can build a competent team by signing, not trading, signing 2 niggas on max contracts, you are out of your fucking mind. You can't. There's no way that you would ever be able to in this CBA to build out and flush out a complete roster when 2 niggas are making up 80% of the cap. No way. There's no way you can do it. You're going to look like what the fuck they had going on out in with the Suns. You're going to look like what Philly's going to look like next year. You're going to look like how Dame and Giannis has been looking over the past 2 to 3 years. So even if I were to buy in to this nonsensical idea, it's not going to work. It's not. If we get Giannis and then we have Luka, who's the rest of the niggas on the roster? A bunch of vet minimum niggas that can't defend? I guess Bryce do need to join the team. Because we're going to have to fill out the roster somehow. You're going to have 2 niggas making up 80% of the cap. What exactly does that do for anybody? What does that do? It's going to be Luka at the point, Dalton on the last year of his rookie deal. Shit. Hey, Dwight, if you want to get a contract, they're going to be handing out something. Bronny, Giannis, and another nigga that they just draft. That's going to be the team? That's the team. Because if Luka's making 50, 60 million and Giannis is making 50, 60 million, no, seriously, what are you doing? Because the rest of these names, Curry's not leaving the Warriors, but it don't make any sense for Curry to play next to Luka. AD's not going to go back to the Lakers. Jimmy Butler at 38, no. Jokic is now not leaving the Nuggets. Why would you want Karl Anthony Towns, especially if you paying him max money? Paul George, no. The next best player at that point in time will be Trae Young, but Trae Young playing next to Luka, no. None of these names are moving me. It's a lot of names. It's a lot of names, but if in Big 2025 you're still following names, you're not a GM, bro. You're an image consultant. You're a PR team. You are a nigga that just goes out there, manage egos. That's it. If you are saying that your big plan is to free up cap to just try to sign a player, no, bro. No. 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 All you're doing is buying time at this point because it seems like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But again, even if they get Giannis, the rest of the roster it's not good enough. You're not going to be able to fill out the rest of the team. You're just not, bro. You're not. You're not. You're not. Which then brings us to, shout out to the 2000 on YouTube, the 2000 on YouTube. Which then brings us to the next set of information with the Lakers. When I saw this news, this is when I knew it's done. Al Horford is a serious option for the Lakers, in addition to DeAndre Ayton, as the Lakers navigate ways to fill out the front court voids. Nigga, the remains of Al Horford being on my team in 2025. And you see how I led with Al Horford, because that nigga might actually be better than DeAndre Ayton. Think about that shit. The best player in that sentence was a nigga that's 58. Think about that. And that's who we're talking about right now. Now, Dave McMenamin. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if like Dave McMenamin is getting his dick sucked by someone in the front office, because this nigga has been teasing us for the last, like, listen to how this nigga is talking to, like, listen to this shit. I want y'all to listen to how this nigga is talking. He's not even saying shit. He just, I don't know, like, what he's doing.
I don't think that's going to happen with Horford. I'll say this. I spoke to someone with knowledge of the Lakers thinking going into day 2 of free agency. Yeah. And it's not just trying to address the center position through a free agent signing. They have a couple avenues that they are, I guess, monitoring or even engaging in trade-wise to address the position.
To address the five.
The five.
Are you at liberty to say who they're targeting?
I can't, because I don't have certainty on who it is. I know one of the scenarios involves another team also dealing with the team that has the center, and the Lakers feel like when and if that trade goes through, there will be a surplus center on the roster, and the Lakers will be able to negotiate for that.
Okay, so
I don't.
What did this nigga just say? What did he say? This nigga said a bunch of nothing. He just said nothing. I heard that they're not really trying to go for Horford, and I'm not at liberty to tell you what else they're trying to do, but what I heard is that they're trying to sign someone while also potentially trade for someone, and maybe there's going to be, now I can't say any names at all. I can't say any names, but I can just sit here and bullshit and filibuster my way to tell you that the Lakers are trying to get a center. My nigga, I could have told you that. Thank you for letting us know that they're trying to trade someone to get a center. Holy, if you're not saying a name, my nigga, what's the point of your sources? If you don't feel confident enough to say a name, shut the fuck up, my nigga. Please. What does that do for us? The fuck? That's a whole bunch of maybe, woulda, coulda, shouldas, might be, I don't knows, and I can't put, fuck, my nigga. Damn, I need to have your job. I can go do that. That was a full minute of nothing. Nothing. Now, there's also some reports claiming that The Lakers have gone out of their way, and shout out to y'all because y'all put it in the chat for me. The Lakers have gone out of their way to inquire about some bigs out there because the belief that Dave McMenamin eventually did follow up on is that there is this idea that there is a team that's, and even this right here sounds crazy. There is an idea that there is a team that is going to continue to add depth at the 5 position, which then would free up which would then create a surplus of centers, which then would free up someone else, and then that's how they can make the trade. And so Yves Missi, Robert Williams, Nick Richards have all been brought up into this conversation. There we go. Nick Richards from the Suns. And I kind of feel like the Suns are already at that point because the Suns just draft a center, and then also they traded for Mark Williams. Yeah. So the Suns should already be at a surplus. I'm not mad at Nick Richards to kick the tire on him. I actually like Yves Missi a lot. I'm not mad at Robert Williams, but I don't like him as a starter. There's a lot of guys that they're throwing around will be amazing players to try. But none of them are solid enough right now for me to feel confident that I can trust them to be a starting center in this association for 82 games. None of them. They're all really good guys, very similar to what Luka had with Derek Lively. Go draft another big, try him out, and it all makes sense. But you would still need your starting 5, player that you feel comfortable with starting. And I like Yves Missi. I really do like Yves Missi. But I don't know. This is what happens when you draft Dalton Connect and have no center. To be fair, at the time we had Anthony Davis, so I think like Yves Missi next to AD doesn't make any sense. Yves Missi on this team doesn't make sense though, to be fair. But at the end of the day, I'm not holding my breath for the Lakers to do much of anything. Everything that they're talking about is just supporting cast members that we're kicking the tire on, and hopefully we have a higher return on them than who they are at this moment in their careers. That's it. And a part of me knows that's really all that they can do. Another part of me also believes that, damn, if MPJ can get traded and all they have to do is throw a draft pick to go get Cam Johnson, I feel like we could have done something like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I heard some news about Rui for John Collins. I actually might like that just because of the vertical threat that is John Collins. I hear a lot of people keep saying, trade Reeves, trade Reeves, trade Reeves. From my understanding, that's also on the table as well. But at some point, Rob has to do something. You got to do something. And if the reason why you're not doing anything of significance is to prepare yourself for the 2027 offseason, when half of the players that will be available that are stars will be over the age of 30, they'll be 34 or older, and a good handful of them don't even fit a roster that would feature Luka, brother, be serious. Be very serious. Be very serious, bro. Be very serious. Be very serious. Someone saying update on Ayton. Ayton is probably the closest to a starting center that the Lakers have discussed. He's the closest thing to a starting center. He's the closest thing. So let that seep in. DeAndre Ayton is the best player that has been made available or in Lakers talks. He does clear his waiver soon, yes. He does clear his waiver soon. But boy, oh boy, I don't know. Yeah, he's very low effort. Very, very low effort. Very low effort. Okay.